and welcome to Be in the World Yoga. I just want to make sure, do we put this on? Okay. Welcome to Be in the World Yoga, live yoga Wednesdays. I'm so happy to see you today. We skipped a week last week. Hopefully you still got your yoga practice in. I mean, obviously, I am a big yoga person. I want you to get your yoga practice in. If you feel like you don't know poses, or just do what feels good in your body and connect your breath to movement. Which leads me to sharing this. I have a wonderful friend and yogi that we do yoga together, and reached out to me saying, you know, one of my yoga classes felt a little bit strenuous because they were a little bit out of practice. Their life routine changed a little bit. So, what now? What do I do when I can't do the practice that I've laid out for you guys? And what my advice is something that I do. When I can't do the practice that I want to do, like that I have in my head, like, oh, I want to do these awesome, yoga hip openings or heart openings, but my body is not in sync with what my desires are, what I do is I just say, you know what, not a class today. I'm going to go to the yoga mat and I'm going to listen to my body, take what I know already, and move with my body and my breath through those movements. So, I might even stay in a stretch on one side longer than the other, because my right side, for instance, tends to be tighter than my left side. So I might even decide I'm going to stay in this pose and stretch towards the left a little bit longer and not make it equal, because I'm listening to my body. My body's telling me it doesn't have to be equal right now. What needs to happen is that one side needs to open up a little bit more than the other. And that's something that's beautiful, and you can't actually get that, or you can if you want to, but you can't always get that from watching a yoga video or going to a yoga class. That time to just say, you know what, to make myself more balanced, I'm going to stay on one side longer than the other. So it's a beautiful opportunity and a gift that you give yourself when you decide, I'm going to just listen to my body today. It doesn't have to be an hour-long practice. It can be 10 minutes today, if that's what my body feels like is enough for me, and so as far as like feeling out of practice, with your yoga practice, or out of tune with your body, which makes you feel uncomfortable in your yoga practice, maybe just listen to your body for about 1 to 2 days. Do your own practice. So I feel like my thoughts are jumbling on top of one another because I get a little bit nervous to talk in front of a camera when nobody's like actually responding to me, because I am a people person. So if I sound like my thoughts are jumbling, sorry about that. What I mean to say is that, when you feel out of practice and you feel like you can't do what that person's doing on the video or in a class, just take that day to move in your body the way your body needs it that day. So listening to what your body needs, as opposed to worrying about the poses, worrying about the alignment. Just listen to what's going to feel good for you in your body that day. And then take your time. Be in those poses longer. Breathe longer. Let thoughts rise up and notice them. And see what are these thoughts that are arising? Oh, that's an interesting thing. Do I need to act on that thought, or do I need to act on that thought, or do I need to let it go, make some sort of change or transition? So, cool. I just have to ask, was there a problem with the microphone? Oh, it's scratching. Okay, so these are my mala beads. I love these mala beads so much. Mala beads are so beautiful. It's, you know, an Indian tradition or also a yoga tradition. And also, if you're Catholic, you might even have rosary beads. But what these are kind of like prayer beads, but they're also, you can chant on them or you can meditate on them. So you could use these as kind of like an abacus, using them to count or to take note of how many times you've said a mantra or a chant. Like this morning, for instance, I chanted to all of these beads the sound of the first seed mantra, Lam. The first seed mantra is Lam, which is the first chakra. And I did that to help me be more grounded and just to feel more connected and rooted inside of my body. So, with that being said, it's 10:04. Let's get started doing yoga. And like I said before, the whole purpose of me telling you that is just, you know, don't ever feel like you can feel like you're too far away from your practice. Like I feel like I haven't taught in a long time. But that's okay. Just get on the mat, do the work, listen to your body, be where you are, and go from there. And then I'm telling you, the more you do the work, the more you're going to succeed and feel good about yourself and about your body and about your path. Okay? And if you ever fall back off the path again, don't worry about it. Just get back on the path again. Don't be hard on yourself about it. You're never that far away, even though it may feel that way. Okay? So, I'm throwing my phone over there. I was going to look to see if anybody said hello, but I didn't. So, I'm going to take my beautiful mala beads, which I cannot wear as we're doing this because they make too much scratchy noise. I'm going to give my beautiful Buddha friend them for safekeeping. Thank you, Buddha. All right. So coming to a nice, comfortable seat. I have these blocks here, and you can use these beautiful yoga blocks to sit on, make you a little bit higher, and this is going to help the hips be higher than the knees. And that's going to help open up your legs too. So that from doing that, when your hips are open, you're able to neutralize your pelvis more. So if you want, you can sit on a block. You can also sit on a blanket. I usually like to take one of these types of blankets to sit on and have the sit bones at the edge of that. Just roll it up as high as you like. But since all of my blankets are being used, I'm not going to use it right now. A blanket is also very useful for your knees too. So if you have any like knee stuff that when you put your knee on the floor it feels tender, go grab a towel or something. Okay? So let's come to a nice, comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged if you like, or you can sit with one leg out. Remember, listen to your body. How are you feeling today? What does your body need? Okay? Taking your hands face down for grounding and face up if you feel like you need an energy lift. But if you feel like you're too scrambled in your thoughts today, I would keep those hands down. Okay. Close your eyes. And we'll take 3 cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhale out a nice sigh through the mouth. Big breath in. Beautiful. Feel your chest as it softens on the exhales. Inhale. Letting those shoulders shrug, letting everything melt off and down towards the floor. One more breath in. Beautiful. And from here, now, tuning into your body with your eyes closed, allow your crown of your head to rise up towards the sky. And exhale, take a nice exhale, shoulders release away from the ears. Inhale, lift up your chest a little bit. Not too much, you're just feeling that energy of the chest rise. And exhale again, soften your shoulders. Start to draw the shoulder points in line with the hip points. That may mean you need to draw the shoulder blades slightly together. And then when you do that, think about the sides of the shoulder points, like the deltoid area. And then imagine little pins there, kind of like Frankenstein, and those pins are reaching out to the side, or they're nails or something, reaching out to the side. So now your chest is broad, your upper back is broad. Beautiful. Take a big inhale here. Exhale. Soften your body, soften your mind. Beautiful. Take some more breaths here. Gorgeous. And from here, we'll take a nice breath, filling up the belly with air. Exhale out a nice sigh again. And we'll open our practice with the sound of Om. Inhale your palms to your heart center. Exhale. Take a nice inhale for the sound of Om. Inhaling. Beautiful. Take your thumbs to your third eye and flutter your eyes open. Gorgeous. Inhale, take those arms up and over your head. Reach palms together, clasp the hands, and turn the palms out. Now stretch those palms up to the sky. Take a few breaths here. 2 more breaths. Keep the back of your neck nice and long so that your spine can be long. Beautiful. One more inhale, reaching the palms up. And exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back and lift up your heart. Draw those shoulder blades together. You might feel a little bit of tightness in the chest. You might hear a little bit of a snap, crackle, pop opening happening here. Breathe into it. One more breath here. Beautiful. Exhale, soften those shoulders. Take a moment to just gel out for a second. And then take your hands out to the side. Inhale, I'm going to mirror you. Left arm reaches up and over towards the right side. Beautiful. Take a look up to the sky here. Exhale, take that hand down. Stretch over to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, soften over to that side. Inhale, look up to the sky, reaching through your right fingertips here. And exhale, take your hand down. Beautiful. Let's come into tabletop position. Take your wrist creases in line with the front of your mat. Have your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Start to spread those fingers away from each other. And let the tips of the fingers press into the ground. Now start to push the energy of the hands and the arms down towards the earth as you lift up, creating a nice long spine. And I have my toes tucked. If you want, you can have them pointed. Whichever one feels comfortable for you. I just like my toes tucked because I get tight Achilles, tight calves here. So I like to keep them like that. Beautiful. And then from here, take an inhale. Roll your shoulders back. Let your belly drop. Look up. Exhale, round the spine. Push those hands into the ground as you let your belly move up towards your spine. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Peel your heart open. You can feel the heels of the hands pressing back as the chest moves through. Exhale, rounding the spine. Beautiful. Inhale. Let your belly stretch open here. Exhale, round the spine. Lifting up those vertebrae towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more inhale before we transition into child's pose. Inhale. And exhale. Untuck your toes if they're tucked. Sit back onto your heels and let your forehead come down to the ground. Take your hands back behind you. And take a few breaths here, letting the shoulders melt away from the center line of the body. Listen to your breath and know that you can always come there into child's pose when you need to take a moment to collect your thoughts and reconnect with your breath. Or just calm down, right? Beautiful. And when you're ready, inhale, stretch those arms up over your head, pressing the hands into the floor. Exhale. Inhale, rise up again into tabletop position. Step your right foot back behind you. So you want to have some room behind you here. Take the ball of the foot onto the floor and reach through the heel here. Take a few breaths into the right calf. So you're pressing your hands into the floor, pushing the front part of your mat away from you. Have your belly slightly tucked here. Beautiful. Take that knee down to the ground. Other side. Ball the foot and reaching back. You can notice which side of your leg which leg actually feels tighter. And you might go, whoa, usually it's this leg that's tighter. Now it's this leg. So you're just observing. Beautiful. Take the knee to the ground. And we're going to make our way into downward dog. Let's take that first inhale, roll the shoulders back, peel the heart up, and exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, send your booty up and back. Take a few breaths here. Just feeling what this feels like. Maybe you need to move your feet to the outer edges of your mat. If your hamstrings are pretty tight, you can also keep your knees soft. Generally, you want to have the knees hips distance apart. Some long-time yogis prefer to have the toes together. So whichever one feels more comfortable for you, but listening to your body is key. Beautiful. Now from here, let's lift the heels up off of the ground, coming onto the balls of the feet, and bend your knees. Let your belly come towards the top of your thighs. Press your hands into the floor and send your booty up and back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, send the hips up to the sky. Exhale, heels come down towards the ground. Let's start to pedal out through the heels here, letting one heel come down at a time. And if you want, you can stay on one side a little bit longer than the other because maybe that side needs it more. Just take your time here, listening to your body, tuning in. If you need to come back into child's pose for a moment, go ahead and do that. Make sure you're breathing. Beautiful. And if you're here and you want to take a right leg up to the sky, stack the hips, you can go ahead and do that. Beautiful. And then try it on the other side. Using your breath and listening to your body. Gorgeous. And when you're ready, everybody meet in downward facing dog again. Spread your toes. Send your hips up and back. Push the front part of your mat away from you. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Start to walk your feet towards the tops of the mat here. The top of the mat. Coming into it flat back here. Take an inhale. Exhale. Forward fold over the legs here. Now you can take your feet a little further away from each other, soften the knees, maybe grab onto the elbows for ragdoll. Maybe you want to rock left and right to really continue to loosen up the body. Gorgeous. And now from here, take a nice inhale, exhale, let the hands drop to the floor. So take an inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Everyone soften your knees. Take your tailbone down towards the floor and start to roll up your spine, keeping that chin tucked into the chest. We're giving ourselves a nice little massage in our spine, in our body here. Beautiful. Crown of the head's the last thing to come up. Roll those shoulders up and back. Woo! Soften the arms down. Good job. So bringing your feet hips distance apart, or if you are one of those people that want to keep your feet together, heels slightly apart, you can go ahead and do that. My recommendation, if you're a newer yogi, take your feet hips distance apart. It's just going to feel better for you right now. Beautiful. And from here, let's ground the feet into the floor in our mountain pose. I'll just shift to show you what it looks like. Feet grounding into the floor, the knees are softening. Lift up your toes and spread them. Pinky toe all the way down to the big toe. Start to root the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet. Draw the thighs in, lift up the kneecaps, and let the spine lift here. So now that you've got those kneecaps lifting up, the thighs drawing in, your pelvis is going to want to neutralize, and that's going to give you more space in your spine. Inhale those shoulders up, and exhale them back. Take the fingers down towards the floor. All right. We're going to start a few sun salutations. So if you feel like you're far from your practice ever, just go on the mat, by the way, and do some sun salutations, because even though the first sun salutation is going to feel a little bit tight, you might not be there yet. Once you do it over and over again, you're going to start to feel some beautiful opening. You're going to feel the spine make movement and maybe a little snap, crackle, pop in a good way. Listening to your body, right? So we're going to start off with this beautiful Surya Namaskara A. That's a sun salutation A. So rooting those feet in mountain. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Draw your thighs back, and if you want a little bit of a heart opening, you can look up to the sky. I honestly prefer to just go straight up with this, so that's an option. Exhale, hinge at your hips, long spine to the forward fold, and let your upper body roll around into your lower body. Inhale to a flat back, take your fingertips to the floor. So the fingertips to the floor rather than the shins is something that I was taught by one of my teachers, Jody, and it's really good because it helps you to strengthen your back, or you could take them onto blocks. If you're here, you're just going to push off of your shins, but if you're on the floor, you're connecting and lengthening and using the muscles of the back to stretch and to strengthen that spine. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back again. And exhale, soften your knees. Take your right foot followed by your left foot back into plank pose, reaching through your heels. Lift up through your low belly and take an inhale. Exhale, soften the knees to the ground. I have my little connective guy coming off the track here. Sorry about that. Soften your knees to the ground, take your belly down. Elbows are going to hug the side body. Press your hands into the floor. You could take your head to the ground first. And then inhale, pointing those toes. Tailbone reaches down towards the floor. Inhale, peel the heart up off the floor for cobra pose. Or even doing a baby cobra here. Just using the energy, the muscles of the upper back to lift you here. Beautiful. Don't even worry about pressing into the hands. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Pressing those hands into the floor. You can continue to pedal out here if you want. You can keep those knees bent if you want. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe you lift one leg up. Woo. Maybe the other. Beautiful. And inhale. Look to the front of the mat. Walk or step your feet to meet the hands, coming into a beautiful flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold over the legs here. Soften your knees. Inhale, arms reach out and up for reverse swan dive. Palms come together. Let's go right into it. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at your hips. Beautiful. Inhale to flat back, long spine. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step both feet back for plank pose. Inhale, press your hands into the ground. Lift up your low belly. Exhale, knees to the ground. Bend the elbows. Let them skim the side body. Point your toes. Inhale, lift up your heart. Beautiful. Exhale, tuck those toes. Send your hips up and back. Take your time. There's no rush here. Only if it feels good, right? Beautiful. Taking some breaths. Maybe you take a child's pose. Do whatever you want to do here right now. As you're breathing, you can stay in downward dog. It helps strengthen and lengthen your spine. Beautiful. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk or step your feet, coming into a nice flat back. And exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, rise on up, palms touch overhead. And exhale, hinge at your hips. Forward fold. Round in. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step back to plank pose. Beautiful. Inhale, press those hands into the ground. Lift up your heart. Exhale, knees to the floor. Bend those elbows, lower down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, peel your heart open. Exhale, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. And we'll take 5 breaths here. You can stay here in the down dog. If you need to take a little mini child's pose, go for it. Beautiful. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk or step yourself right into the flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold. Maybe you grab onto the backs of the legs and pull yourself in. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach out and up, overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, prayer right down through center line. Bring it right to your heart. Take a moment to close your eyes. Going inward. You can put your hands on your chest. Notice how your energy has shifted. Does it feel good? Can you be with it and enjoy it? Beautiful. And from here, take an inhale, arms reach up to the sky. We're going to change up the sun salutation to classic Surya Namaskara. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Have your blocks handy for you if you're feeling particularly tight in your thigh. We're going to send that right thigh back behind. Take the right knee down to the ground. And here's where you can take your blocks and bring them to the sides of your legs, underneath your shoulders a little bit here. Beautiful. Or you could keep your hands on top of your knee. Let's rise up for a moment here, and we'll move through this, opening up the right hip first. Take an inhale. And exhale, soften. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, push through the front foot. Exhale, soften. Inhale. Exhale, soften. Beautiful. Let's do the arms with this. Now you can keep your hands on the blocks. Stay where we just were. Totally fine. Remember, those blocks can come up. Or inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, soften into the hips. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's stay here. Tailbone is reaching down towards the floor. Low belly is lifting up. Of course, I'm always saying that because I want you to protect your low back. Very important. So listen, if you're going too deep, if the back feels a little pinchy, come up a little bit here. Beautiful. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into plank pose. We're going to go through our vinyasa. Inhale, reaching through your heels. Exhale, lower down. Maybe the knees come down. Maybe you go straight to the belly. Point the toes. Inhale. Peel your heart open. You might even be a little higher. If you're still lower, totally cool. You're listening. That's what's important. Exhale, tuck the toes and send those beautiful hips up and back. Beautiful. Take 2 more breaths here. Feeling your spine lengthen, feeling those hands press and send your hips up to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale. Inhale, your right leg reaches up to the sky, and it can stay here straight, or you can bend the knee and stack the hips on top of one another. Beautiful. Exhale. Start to shift the hips to neutral again. knee comes to the belly button and steps right between the hands here. Left knee can come to the ground. Blocks can come with us. Remember, they could be up high like this. Beautiful. Either hands on the knee or the block, or just hands on the hips. And inhale, press through that front foot. Exhale, soften, opening up the beautiful connective tissue around this left hip, around the femur and the pelvis, opening that area up. Beautiful. And inhale those arms up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, softening forward. Inhale. Exhale. Really use the breath to connect to movement here. Inhale. The exhale is going to help you let go and soften here. Stay here. Take 3 breaths. Inhale, look up to the sky, and exhale, hands to the floor. Step both feet together into a gorgeous forward fold here. Inhale to flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold again. You can grab onto your legs if you want. Inhale, arms reach out and up, reverse swan dive. Palms come together, and exhale, palms right down to the heart center. Take a moment here. Close your eyes, tune in. Beautiful. Inhale, open up your eyes, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at your hips. Inhale to flat back, nice smooth breath. Nice smooth exhale as the left foot steps all the way back, knee to the ground. Take your hand onto the right knee. Beautiful. This time, we're going to rise on up. Stack the hip over the knee first. You can take your hands onto your hips. Take an inhale. And exhale, send your hips or tilting your pelvis a little bit forward here as you soften into Anjaneyasana. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And you can keep your arms here, lifting up through your low belly, reaching that up towards your heart. Maybe the palms come together. Maybe the first 3 fingers come down and the pointer finger and thumb stay here. Take a few breaths here. Squeeze your thighs in towards the midline of your body. That's going to create a little bit more stabilization of your pelvis and balance in the feet. Gorgeous. Exhale, take those hands down to the ground and step back to plank pose. This will be the counter pose to what we just did, which was kind of a back opening, hip opening here. Reaching through your heels. Inhale, long spine. Beautiful. And now you could take those knees down, or you can come down through chaturanga, bending the elbows, lowering down. Bring the knees down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, opening up to cobra pose. Exhale, tucking your toes, downward facing dog. You could shake out the head here if you feel like you're holding on to tension, or even if you don't. Beautiful. Inhale that left leg up to the sky. If you want, bend the knees, stack the hips, press the hands into the floor to send those hips up and back. And exhale, straighten out the hips as you pull the knee into the belly. Send the left foot forward. Right knee comes to the ground. Rise on up. Hands onto the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften your hips forward. Inhale, reach those arms up. Palms come together. Taking a few breaths here. Palms can also stay apart. So I wanted to tell you really quickly, or as you're doing, a little note on creating your own yoga practice. When you're doing something like this, a sun salutation, when you step back with the right foot, you're going to step forward with the right foot. And then when you transition to the other side, when you step back with the left foot, you're going to step forward with the left foot. This way you make sure you get both sides if you want to do it evenly. Inhale, the arms reach up if they're not up yet. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step both feet together. Nice forward fold here. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky, letting them wash over you in this beautiful exhale, right down to the heart center. Gorgeous. All right, let's get into some dancing warrior poses. So using that sun salutation to build on moving into a vinyasa practice or continuing on to a vinyasa practice. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Keep the spine nice and long here as you fold into yourself. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step the right foot back behind you. This time the knee's going to stay off the ground. Turn your right toes to your right side, right corner of your mat. And maybe the left foot reaches to the side a little bit to create space so that your hips feel balanced here. Inhale, rise on up. And our hips are going to be, as much as you can, as much as feels comfortable, pointing forward. Tailbone softens down towards the floor. Take an inhale and exhale. See if you can let that left knee reach over the left ankle. Beautiful. And lift up through your low belly, lift up through your heart. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Maybe palms come together. And if you want, stay here, nice long spine, lifting up your heart. Maybe your gaze points up towards the sky, but keep the back of the neck nice and long, consistent with what's happening with the rest of the spine. Beautiful. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose, and we're going to take our vinyasa, reaching through the back heel. Inhale, and exhale, lowering down your way. Point your toes. Now, you didn't have to go down all the way if you don't want to. You can come right into an upward dog, keeping those knees lifted. Draw your shoulders back, lift up your heart. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a few breaths. And I really like upward dog because we really start to engage the thighs in upward dog. Right now we're in down dog, and we still can engage the thighs here. Beautiful. Now we're going to inhale that right leg up to the sky, just as we sent it back before. Stack the hips here. Exhale, straighten the hips and pull the knee into the belly. Right foot steps to the top of the mat. Turn your back heel down and create some space here between the feet. Press into the right foot. Inhale, rise on up. Warrior one. Now you can start with the front leg a little bit more straight. If the hips are feeling a little tight, then you can gauge what's happening in my hip, what's happening in my low back, how far down feels comfortable. Taking a few breaths here. Keep those feet pressing into the ground, spreading the toes. Lift up the kneecap of the left side, the left knee, engaging that thigh. Softening in the right hip. Beautiful. Take another inhale. And exhale. We're going to step both feet together as the hands come to the floor in a nice forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Forward fold, long spine. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, left foot steps back behind you. It's going to feel like we're repeating the same pose we just did, which we are. Taking the heel down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Warrior one. Now, here's another option. You can keep those arms up, or you can clasp the hands back behind you, roll your shoulders back, and lift up your heart. Take a few breaths here. Gaze your eyes at one point. This is going to increase your focus so that your eyes aren't wandering everywhere. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften into those hips. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step back to plank pose. And going your way through your vinyasa. You can untuck the toes for chaturanga and lift up. Engage those kneecaps, engage the thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. You can take a child's pose here if you want. Make sure you're breathing. One more beautiful breath here. And if you want, inhale that left leg up to the sky. Stack the hips. Try to keep your shoulders neutral here. And sending the hips back to neutral. Pull the knee into the belly. Send the right foot to the top of the left foot to the top of the mat. Turn your right heel down. Inhale. Sweep those arms up. Softening into your warrior one here. Oh, feels so good for me on the right hip. Really engage the right thigh. Getting rid of that sweat mustache. Take an inhale. And exhale. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Take a few breaths here. So the feet and the legs are nice and strong, but there's a softening that's happening in the hips here. So you're pressing those feet in, but the hips soften to find that strength, to find that release. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up, and exhale into that forward fold. Inhale to flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold again, and inhale, rise on up. Palms come together. Exhale, take the thumbs to the third eye here. This is how, if I feel a little bit lightheaded, I get out of it. I put my thumbs on my third eye, and it'll get you out of feeling lightheaded. Beautiful. There's magic powers in the third eye, right? Take your hands to your heart center. Also magic powers there. Beautiful. I'll just get a time check, John. What is it? 10:40. Okay. So, cool. And if you ever hear me say babe, it's because John is my babe. He's my husband. So, from here, coming into mountain pose again, we're going to do a dancing warrior sequence. My queen's accent came out there for a second. Dancing warrior. So when you're ready, balance your feet. Balance. Inhale. Draw up from the floor here. Rooting your feet into the ground. Take an inhale. And exhale. Hinge at your hips. Forward. Fold. Inhale to flat back. Long spine. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step your right foot back behind you. And now this time you're going to keep your ankle in line with your middle toe there, or your big toe or second toe. And from here we're going to come up into high lunge. So press your left foot into the floor. As you inhale, lift up. That heel of the back foot is off of the floor here. You can keep your hands on your hips if you like. So come up high onto that, and then soften, reach that heel back behind you. Lift up your right kneecap. Soften into your hips as the left knee goes over the left ankle and the feet press into the ground. We're squeezing our thighs together. Don't worry if you're coming at it. It's totally fine. That's the goal here. We're really pulling it in here. Beautiful. Inhale. Arms reach up to the sky. Exhale. Right hand is going to come forward. Left hand reaches back behind you. Now we're adding a little twist to this. We're twisting towards that bent leg. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, take your back heel down to the floor. And line the heels up with each other here for warrior one. Since I don't want my back to face you, I'm going to switch. I'm having a spaz attack as to what side I should be on now. Oh, no. This is it. Okay. So I came to warrior two. I don't know if it sounded like I just said warrior one. So coming into warrior two now. Straighten through that front leg for a second. And exhale, soften. Knee over the ankle. Inhale. Lengthen your arms. Take a note of yourself, of what's happening right now. So often I see, and I probably did this a lot in the beginning, a little reach. Don't reach. Stay where you are. You want the feet to reach and root. And it's like, and then the thighs are pulling into the sockets, and from there the spine is lifting up nice and long. So you're beautifully centered in your warrior two pose. And then I used to keep this arm pretty low, and I didn't realize that. I'm going to check it right now. I think they're even, but as much as I can. Then start to press the palms of your hands, pressing them down towards the ground, as if you're palming a basketball or something. Gaze over your front fingers. Take 3 breaths. If you have a little lock in the elbows, unlock them. Beautiful. Now inhale, lean forward, turn your left palm up and lift up and back. Right hand comes right to the thigh, lifting up and back to peaceful warrior. Exhale, forearm's going to come to the thigh. Inhale, right arm reaches up and over. Side angle pose. Notice how we're not going to slouch in this pose. We're going to press into that left arm to lift us and create space between the ear and the neck. Nice long spine. Press those feet. Inhale. Take a few breaths. Maybe you want to look up to the sky here to feel the right side open. Beautiful. Press into your left foot. Inhale, rise on up, straighten through that front leg, and take the arms down just to relax for a moment. Beautiful. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten through the front leg and send your hips back behind you. Reach forward with your left arm. Take an inhale. Exhale, hand comes to the shin. Or some of us use blocks, but the shin is perfectly fine. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. Taking a few breaths. So notice how we're not crumpling in this pose either. We want to go as high as feels comfortable so that we can keep the body nice and open and long. Beautiful. Eyes can be towards the left toes or up towards the right thumb. Taking a few breaths here. Feel those feet rooting. Start to lift your heart so that it points up towards the sky a little bit here. Beautiful. Inhale, soften through the left knee. Exhale, circle your hands down to the floor and step back to plank pose. You're going to go through your vinyasa or maybe even skip it and come right to child's pose. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And if you're in child's pose, inhale those arms up overhead. Come onto the knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Beautiful. And we're going to look to the top of the mat. We're just going to take both feet and either hop or step the feet to meet the hands. So you can hop by lifting your hips up a little bit, bending your knees. Whoopsies. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Palms come together. Take it down to the third eye, to the heart center. Beautiful. Same thing, other side. Come to the top of your mat for mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Long spine, forward fold. Inhale, flat back to that gorgeous long spine again. And exhale, hands to the ground. Take the left foot back for high lunge. Pin the ball of that foot into the floor. Pin your front foot into the floor. And inhale, rise on up. Really engage this kneecap here and that thigh, the left thigh. Engage your glute here. Take a few breaths, softening into the hip here. Reach those hips forward as you lift up your belly toward your heart. Inhale and exhale, taking that twist, looking out to the side. Beautiful. Inhale yourself back to center. Exhale, left heel comes down to the ground. Line the ankles up, line the heels up. Beautiful. Exhale, warrior two. Toes are pointed towards the front of the mat in the right foot. Left foot, the toes are pointed to the side of the mat. Beautiful. Straighten that front leg for a second. Let's let those arms come down for a second. Inhale. Soften into the hips. Inhaling and exhaling here. Feel those feet pressing into the floor. Toes spreading. Feeling that energy reach into the legs. So there's this lifting energy and rooting energy at the same time. That's balance, right? Take an inhale. Exhale, soften a little bit more. Inhale, reach forward, turn your right palm up, lift up and back, peaceful warrior. Beautiful side stretch. Exhale, right forearm comes to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Side angle pose. And you can take your left side body, turn it back, and look up to the sky here. Take a few breaths. Beautiful, long, smooth breaths. Nourishing your body, nourishing your mind, nourishing your spirit. Reuniting with your spirit, right? Inhale, rise on up to warrior two. Straighten that leg. Take the arms down for a second. Inhale the arms up again, and right knee goes over the right ankle. Pull your belly towards the back of your spine and lift up your spine here. Warrior two, take an inhale. Exhale, straighten through that leg. Send the right hip in towards the left hip. Right hand comes to the shin. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. You can look up or look to the floor. Take a few breaths here. You can again turn that left side rib cage out. Beautiful. Inhale, rise on up to warrior two, and exhale, circle the hands down to the floor. Step back to plank pose. Inhale, exhale, lower down your way. Maybe go through your vinyasa or take some child's pose. Beautiful. Take 3 more breaths wherever you are. We'll meet in downward dog. Shake out your head. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or hop your feet to meet the hands flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, thumbs to the third eye. Thumbs to the heart center. Beautiful. All right, so now that we feel all this gorgeous hip opening and grounding energy, let's do some balance. So tree pose. Tree pose is, phenomenal pose to practice balance and strength and just to have fun and love yourself more. So coming into mountain pose, remember if you need to grab some water or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and do that. This thing's a little wacky, so I just have to deal with it for now. All right, mountain pose. Take your feet hips distance apart. Spread through your toes. Stand up nice and tall. Hopefully you feel this beautiful posture now, this energy lift, and this rooting, this connection with the earth. Beautiful. And take your right leg. Actually, I'm going to mirror you. So let's pretend this is you, my right leg. So take your right leg and turn the knee out to the side. The heel can come to the ankle. You can have a nice kickstand pose here. Maybe palms come together. Or you can keep your hands onto your hips. Stay focused, having your eyes fixed on one object, your drishti, non-moving object. Now, make sure that right knee is not locked. That left knee is not locked. Beautiful. Take the foot to the shin or to the inner thigh. And draw the thigh towards the foot and the foot towards the thigh. So, as you can see, I'm pretty balanced in this. I'm literally on my right leg, pretending I'm on my left leg. This is my stronger leg. Your stronger leg might also be your right leg. So don't get on yourself right now if you feel like you're wibble wobbling on your left leg. Don't worry, you'll get all your confidence back when you're on your right leg. So either taking your hands onto your hips and staying here gazing at one point. Maybe the palms are going to come together at heart center. Maybe arms reach up to the sky and palms come up overhead. And if you're going to do that, you might also take the hands and reach them up to the sky, feeling your standing foot, your standing leg reach down towards the ground. As your fingertips reach up, keep your gaze fixed. Keep it on your drishti, your non-moving object. Take a few breaths. So your leg here is balancing. It's trying to find the balance. Balance is movement to find the center. Movement to help you come towards the center. So little intricate, tiny movements. Beautiful. Take another inhale. When you're ready, exhale. You could take your hands down, take your foot slowly down, shake out that standing leg. Gorgeous. Shake out your body. And other side. So, this time standing on your right leg, take the left knee out to the side. I automatically start to do this. Start to lift up your spine nice and long. Heel to the ankle, hands to the hips. Hands to the hips is going to root you. It's going to keep you balanced already here. Beautiful. And then from here, foot comes to shin maybe and stays here, or maybe it goes right into the thigh. And remember that right thigh is going to press into the left foot, and the left foot's going to press into the right thigh. So they're joining one another. They're connecting towards the center. This is going to help you stay a little bit more balanced. Gaze at your non-moving object. Palms can stay on the hips or come to heart center or up to the sky. And you feel that lift. The standing leg is reaching towards the ground. Fingers reaching up. Let your heart lift. Let yourself open up here as you gaze towards your non-moving object. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can float the arms down, followed by the legs. And shake out that leg. Beautiful. Shake out your body. All right. Now that our body's opening up and we feel balanced, we're going to want to do some heart opening and some back strengthening. We feel like we have more courage to do that, and also our body's longing for that opening, right? So let's come directly onto our knees, onto the hands, and then bring your belly down to the floor. Take your hands one on top of another and just lay here for a moment, because this in itself could be the front part of your body opening that you need. This could be the max for you right now. This could be the most you can do right now, because this is kind of a back opening or a hip opening here. So take a few breaths here, introducing an unforward fold to your body. Beautiful. We're going to bring our head to center. Take your hands back behind you, and you can take your forehead to the ground. Reach through your toes. We're going to strengthen our spine here and our upper back and the muscles that help to control the spine or move the spine. Inhale, lift up your heart, reach your toes back. Tailbone reaching into the floor. Take 3 breaths here. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Don't look up like this. Gaze down towards the floor. Beautiful. Exhale, lower down. Palms go one on top of another, and take your head over towards the opposite side. So your left ear is on your hands. Softening the body, softening the shoulders. Beautiful. Bring yourself back to center. Reach your hands back behind you. Inhale, lift up, peeling yourself up off the ground. Take 5 breaths this time. Nice, long, smooth breaths. Reaching those toes, reaching the arms. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands go right on top of one another. And take your right ear to your hands now. Shake out your hips a little bit here. Just feeling good and loving your body, loving that you're moving in your body, you're opening. It almost makes you feel like a dancer. Dancers are pretty in tune with their body too. A lot more than the average folk, probably, right? Like us. Unless you're not average. So from here, we're going to take the hands back behind you. Inhale, peel your heart up. Back of the neck is long. Take 7 breaths this time, if you can. If you need to come down on 5, no problem. Listen to your body. Engage your spinal muscles. Lift up a little higher. Inhale, lift. And exhale, melt to the floor. Gorgeous. Let your hips melt to the sides. Rolling out to the sides. Beautiful. Alrighty. Let's go for a little bit deeper of a heart opening and hip opening. And you can either take one heel, your left heel or your right heel to start, and just hang out here. Come onto a little half Sphinx pose, arms. And that could be enough. And then you switch to the other side, taking 5 to 7 breaths, I guess, on each side. Or you could take your feet, grab your ankles, bring your thighs closer towards each other, like hips distance apart, instead of splayed out to the side. But if that's what your hips are, how your hips are formed, it's totally fine. When you're ready, take an inhale, press your ankles into your hands, allowing them to press back and lift your heart up off the ground. So imagining that somebody's grabbing your arms and pulling you back and taking a few breaths. You might move here. And since it's been a little bit since I've done this, my right foot is actually shaking, which means that there's something locked in there that needs to come out. So take a few breaths. The prana energy in my body is shaking out blockages so it can breathe, it can move smoothly. Beautiful. Release down to the floor and take your head to the floor. You might want to take a little nap here. Gorgeous. Take your hands underneath your shoulders now and come into hands and knees. Sit on your heels now. Roll those shoulders back. So I want to do a pigeon pose before we go into our Shavasana. Time check, probably way over. 11 o'clock. We should be finished, but we're not. Let's do pigeon pose first. Take your hands into tabletop position. Your right knee comes towards your right wrist. And take the right ankle over to the side. Start to scooch that left knee back behind you. And this may feel like a lot. You might want to lean over to the right a little bit more, or even come out of the pose a little bit. You could take even a block under your right hip here. If it feels like you're up too high, you might want to stay high or on the forearms. I'm giving you 500 options here. Just because I'm not with you and I want you to listen to your body and not just try to do what you think the pose is supposed to look like. So feel it. You should. The intention is that your right side glute is gonna feel open, and your right IT band too. Some of us are very flexible. That right foot comes up higher. Doesn't matter. You have to listen to your body. Okay. Make sure you're not hurting your knee. Maybe the forearms come onto the floor. Maybe you come all the way down, breathing. And this, I got to tell you, I miss adjusting people in class, because it gives us a time to connect with each other as they're connecting with themselves and letting go. Taking some breaths. And plus, it absolutely looks so gorgeous when everybody in the class is doing some form of pigeon pose together, because I absolutely know it's a fantastic pose to help you release those emotions, release and connect into yourself. And just get a deeper understanding of what's going on with you. So if you're feeling like mentally like, I really want to get out of this pose, allow yourself to breathe into that and soften a little bit deeper. Of course, you want to make sure that if there's pain that you're feeling, it's not a harmful kind of pain, but a good kind of pain. That means that you're stretching your hip open, but you're not hurting your knee or the front part of your hip. Beautiful. We're going to take an inhale and start to rise up out of this, pressing your hands into the floor. I like to do this the fancy way by taking the left knee forward and then the right leg back. If you want to go through tabletop, you can go ahead and do that. So same thing you did on one side, you might want to do on the other side, unless one side is a little bit easier. Okay? And then you can modify to what feels good on that side. Take a nice inhale, lengthen your spine, and when you're ready, go down as low as it feels good. You can stay here the whole time, or take those hands to the ground. So if your hands are to the ground, a lot of times I'll see people still jammed up in the shoulders here. Take those elbows out to the side and then just let your heart soften between the shoulders here, almost melting down to the ground. Maybe your hands even come out of it and your just head is on the ground. Taking some breaths. Do you feel it in your left booty side and your left IT band? Breathing into this. Observe what comes up in your mind and be okay with it. Let it go. And start to deepen the breath here. We're going to rise on up out of this. Hands underneath the shoulders. Rise up and take that back leg forward. Come onto your back. Take your feet to the edges of your mat. Beautiful. If the low back feels a little bit of tightness or a little pain, you can bring your knees up, bring your feet to the edges of your mat, and take your knees together. You can stay here with your hands on your belly, and that'll help to lower the low back onto the floor a little bit more. You can also keep your palms face up if you like. Otherwise, if you're feeling okay in your low back, take your feet to the sides. Take your palms face up. Close your beautiful eyes. And start to feel the practice, the opening that you just created for yourself. Feel all that pranic energy that you just cultivated. Vital life source. Let yourself soften and kind of drip into the ground like a puddle of water. And we'll be here for about 5 more breaths. So really take your time here. Letting go. Let's roll over. Actually, before we roll over, let's take a nice inhale. Stretch those toes in one direction and stretch your arms up over your head in another direction. Stretching from fingertip to toe. I gotta stick my hands under the couch. Beautiful. Exhale, soften your body. Now roll over to your right side. Take pause here for a moment, knowing that life does not need to be rushed, but can be enjoyed moment by moment. And then pressing your left hand into the ground, rise on up. Eyes are closed here as we take a moment to be with ourselves, just being in our body. Coming from transitioning into what we felt before to how we feel now. Noticing that. And take your palms together at heart center, sealing your practice with the sound of Om, taking a nice big inhale. Bringing your thumbs to your third eye and bowing to yourself. The light in me is honored by the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can write a little note here, but please also check out our Be in the World Yoga Facebook. No, not Facebook. We're on Facebook. Okay. Check out our Be in the World Yoga website, which has blogs and lots of other yoga practices for you to enjoy with me. And, you know, there's meditations and different techniques that you can use to get into meditation. We're continuing to build more and more and more. So please also leave a comment. What else should I say? Oh, Lori! Oh, my phone is on the floor over there. I'm going to crawl to the phone. Lori is my sister, soulmate, best friend. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you. And I'm so glad you got to do yoga today with me. Of course, it's all about me. I'm just kidding. That's how I get when my friend is there. My friends are there. I get really goofy. Okay, so just really quickly. Who else is here? Judy! That's how I get when my friend is there. Oh, no. So Judy said my voice kept cutting out. It's probably my end, too. Oh, it's not? Oh, my husband said it's not on my end right now. But, I don't know. Hi, Aunt Mary. Love you. And also, we welcome people all around the world to comment, too. You don't have to just know me, by the way. So if you're joining us from a different part of the planet, please say hello and be in our world. Be in our yoga world with us. But and I love to hear any kinds of feedback, any kind of thing that you're interested in learning about. So please visit our website, beintheworldyoga.com. And we got lots of stuff to talk about with you. So, and we would love for you to talk back. So have a fantastic day. Enjoy the weather. Namaste.